Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name's Spesh, and I'm here with my pal Lanjoe.
Hi.
We're gonna do something a little bit different today. We're just gonna do like kind of like a podcasty type thing, where we just talk at you and talk with each other about zombies and kind of where we think it's gonna go and what's gonna happen. So if you're into that kind of thing, stick around. Drop a like and subscribe to both of our channels. I'll link Joe's down in the description below, and well,
Shaka.
mine's right here. So
Yeah.
just do it.
Should we start with like a discussion like where we started with zombies before we kind of
Yeah,
like,
I like that idea.
should you go first since you're the more veteran one?
More seasoned vet.
Yeah.
Okay, so I started playing zombies back in middle school. The first map I ever played.
You don't know how old you are.
I am 24.
Just say Black Ops 1.
Black Ops 1. My first map was Kino der Toten. I had never played zombies before, and a guy that we went to school with, Chase, friend requested me on Xbox. He's like, hey man, you want to play some zombies?
Swinabetes at the time.
Swinabetes was his name, yeah. Was like, hey, you want to play some Call of Duty with me and Grayson?
Oh god. Galong.
Glong. And so
Anyways.
yeah, so we played there, and then from there it just kind of branched out. We would stay up, me, Chance, Alyssa,
naming-
also known as Sybil.
Doing a lot of name drops.
Yeah, you know, hey, gang, gang. But we would stay up till like 2 in the morning playing Kino, just going high rounds. We were always psyched. We made it for like round 30, 35. And then yeah, we kind of played from there, but we really always stuck with Kino. And then I got into Black Ops 2, and personally I didn't like it. I thought Transit was not great. Bad take, but
I mean, I wouldn't say it's a bad take. Transit's universally not loved.
yeah, fair.
There are parts of it like Green Run in town that I think like because you can play like sections of
Because
Transit.
Transit was so freaking big.
Yeah, so like when you do like town, I think that's the main one that people like.
Yeah.
Is like the section of town.
So yeah, so like I played it then, and I didn't have the money when I back in Black Ops 1. I never bought the DLCs for the most part, so I didn't have
What
like
Shang?
I bought Shang. That was the only one I bought. I
Yeah.
didn't buy like Moon or anything like that. And then I kind of got out of it for a while, and I didn't play Buried. I didn't play the first version of Origins. And
Or
it
Mob?
Or Mob. I never played Mob or any of that stuff.
Wait. So you bought Black Ops 2, and then what was the first DLC map? Is that what's its
Die
face?
Rise.
Die Rise. Did you buy Die Rise?
I did.
And then you didn't buy Mob?
No, because Die Rise was awful, so
Oh
and I
no!
didn't know what was going on at the
Yeah,
time.
for sure.
So then,
That sucks.
yeah, it was just bad timing.
Fuck you. What was it?
Jimmy Zelensky?
No, Die Rise. I couldn't
Oh,
think of the
well,
map.
Die Rise, but also Jimmy Zelensky, fuck you. So, so yeah, and then Black Ops 3 came around. Joe finally had online abilities to play video games.
I didn't live in the woods anymore.
Yeah, and so we both got really into zombies and basically went through all of Black Ops 3, really into the lore and stuff, and yeah.
And then ended up backtracking to figure out what happened before Black Ops 3. So
Yep, we had to go back through everything.
Yeah.
So that's where I started, and now we're here. So
now they're here.
now we're here.
My intro, same person kind of introduced me was Chase, but it was Grayson. I played World at War at his house, and we played. I had to have been Knocked. And then I also played Knocked at like my cousin's house, but I never really got into anything after that. And then I bought Black Ops 1 like way back when for no reason because I couldn't play online. It was mainly just like the campaign and then like grinding offline multiplayer stuff and zombies, which is really dumb. And so first like time I played on my own, I guess, was Kino. And then I didn't touch anything for a long time because like I just didn't have the way to play it. I'd go to this guy's house and play like split screen with him, but other than that, I didn't really have like a means to do it. And then skipped Black Ops 2 completely. Didn't even know like what Transit was or like what are the little guys?
The
Can't remember what they're called.
I'll think of it.
Whatever. Like people would make memes about those, and I had no idea what they were. And then we got into Black Ops 3, and I finally had like online capabilities, like you said, and it just took off from there. Like I was finally kind of good at like first-person shooter games because I didn't play a lot growing up, so I was really, really bad, like laughably bad. And so then I eventually like got better at the game just by playing, and just played Black Ops 3 Zombies religiously, and then got hyped for Black Ops 4. You know what happened there. And then Cold War, I played like a little bit of D Machine, but not as much just because like time and stuff is hard to maintain if like you got other things going on. But yeah.
So going back to Black Ops 4 in that case, in your opinion,
Why? Why are we starting off at like Black Ops 4? We can. I'm just like, why? Go ahead.
In
Ask
your
question.
opinion, where do you think Treyarch went wrong with Black Ops 4?
They should not have split resources on a different story. So, Black Ops 3, I'm gonna like hint at Black Ops 3 because you kind of have to, ended on such like a, I wouldn't say high. So you get through the big three or the big four, I guess, like Shadows, Horizon, Zet, and Garad, and everyone's like, "Whoa, what the like? What's happening?" Like it's so like the like dope, like it's the golden era, as like a lot of other like YouTubers and stuff have called it. And then you get to Rev, and I mean, you could probably say it's a letdown compared to the rest of them. You could probably
100%.
say it's a letdown. I wouldn't call it bad. I'd just say slight letdown. And then everyone's like, oh, what's going to happen next? Blah, 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 blah. Like, who knows? And then Zombies Chronicles comes out and just, like, blows everything out of the water, which is insane. And so we're all just like, oh, God, like, how is, like, what's going to tie in next? Like, what's going to happen? Like, the timeline's all there now. Like, when, like, Jason went with JC and, like, they unveiled the timeline, like, the whole thing. And, like, I remember, like, calling you and just, like, reading everything about it. Like, reading, like, the pages. And, like, I still have a not a Google Doc. In my phone, in my, like, books app, I have the full book still that, like, someone posted of, like, a compendium of all the dates and, like, what happened.
Oh, the Chronorium, basically?
Yeah, basically just the Chronorium in my phone. And, like, I can just go back through and read it. And that's how into it we were. And so then we get to Black Ops 4, and, like, Blood of the Dead intro cutscenes, like, super cool. Like, we're going to finally see, like, what actually happened there, because, like, there's that big confusion with Zet and Garad. But then you have other maps, like, taking away from it. Not in a bad way. I guess in a bad way. I don't want to say bad when I bring up 9, because 9's a really, 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 really good map. How many relays was that?
You know, we'll get a counter post.
I think that was like 9.
That was a lot.
I was hoping it was 9.
Stupid.
Voyage, but Blood, and I guess Classified, if you want.
Oh, right. Classified. I almost forget that happened.
Yeah. I just think, had they only done Blood and Classified, one, the Classified Easter egg would be completely different. They wouldn't have had to be weird and, like, dumb about it and, like, do something completely out of nowhere. The Blood of the Dead Easter egg cutscenes were amazing. I think the Easter egg itself would have been less clunky.
Yeah.
Had they been, like, able to devote more time to it instead of just, like, kind of, like, I feel like they just, like, kind of threw stuff in there to just be like, oh, it'll work. When in reality, like, it really didn't. And it wasn't super fun to play. Like, there are Easter eggs that, like, you want to play, and then there are ones that you just, like, you want to, only to see the cutscene. There are ones that you play to, like, oh, this Easter egg's actually fun.
That's how I feel with the DE Easter egg.
Yeah,
I
100%.
like doing the DE Easter egg, but I don't like doing the Gorod Krova Easter egg.
Yeah, 100%. It's I don't even want to get into it. It's hard. It's not. Yeah, it's hard, but, like, it's just so tedious.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things going on there.
Well, and the fact that they decided to make an entire new storyline when the other one hadn't been fleshed out. They already said that the other storyline was going to be over in Rev, and they decided to start it up again, which was great. And I think Blood was cool, and I liked.
Did they
Blood.
say Rev was the end?
They said that it's the closing of a chapter or whatever. And
right.
And then basically,
and then they opened the
and then
loop
it
back
basically wasn't. Yeah.
I don't know. It's just like, had they not done what maps did they do? 9, Voyage of Despair, Dead of the Night, and Ancient Evil.
Ancient Evil. Yeah.
Those are the 4. So had they just saved those for Cold War, I get that, like, D Machine wouldn't exist and, like, this new storyline with, like, the Dark Ether wouldn't exist. But had they just saved those for Cold War, and then done Blood of the Dead, Classified, Alpha Omega, and Tagged or Toten, Dynasty. Alpha Omega's the 3rd one, right? Yeah. Had they done those 4, maybe even thrown a 5th one there to, like, because, like, I feel like you probably can do one in between Tag and Alpha Omega, realistically, to try and, like, show, like, a different, like, another, like, I don't know, something more. Because there's no, like, boss fights. There's no... There's no cutscenes because they ran out of resources. They ran out of funding.
They used them all on the
Black
Chaos.
Ops 3, and,
Well,
and then the Chaos.
the Chaos storyline. So the Chaos storyline had the actual cutscenes.
Yeah.
And boss fights and
the storyline that we knew.
Yeah, the one that's been going on for 10 years.
That we like cared about more. I get like why they wanted to put more resources into the Chaos storyline because they wanted that to succeed, but like it was never going to succeed while the Aether storyline was still going on.
Mm-hmm.
I think like there's no way around it. Like everyone was so invested that they should have just 100% finished that one first, and then gone into the Chaos one.
Mm-hmm.
If they had done that, I think Black Ops 4 still would have been a very successful experience. Like even if we didn't get any original content from map wise, like had there still been like Alcatraz, like 5, Nuketown, and then Call of the Dead, I think they would have been more fleshed out. There would have been cutscenes. There would have been like other Easter eggs involved into it, where like the gameplay wouldn't have felt so like cheap and rushed. It would have just felt like I would have been more okay with it, if that makes sense.
Well, and it's like it almost feels forced. They literally forced it, so they decided to remake maps that we've already played 1,000 times instead of giving us new maps. And that was what I was worried about in Black Ops 4 when I first thought it was going to be knocked.
Black Ops 4. Cold War.
In Cold War, I was pretty worried about that when I first saw Knocked, but really you don't really play in Knocked all that much. You're pretty much just in and around it. Knocked's just like a part of the map. You just run through it. You don't really deal with it.
And I think it serves a good purpose as like a hub almost. Like there are things you can find in there, but it's not like every single thing is found in there, which I think is good.
Yeah, and I mean it's a good way to start the new Dark Aether storyline, especially because that's how they started the Aether storyline to begin with.
Yeah, it's just familiarity.
But they don't need to do it more. Don't
take us to Shinonuma?
Yeah, don't take us to Shinonuma, please. Don't let the Keisan site be Shinonuma, please.
I think they can do it if they do it right. Like, if they did every single one, kind of like D-Machine, like, it's just like a small little portion of it, I think it'll be fine.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, I don't know, it's like world building. Like, you start with like one small central area, and then you expand out of that.
Right.
So, like, there's small portions that they could expand out of and make it completely brand new and different. That's why I think, like, if they do it, Verrucht will be the best map. Because there's a lot to do in Verrucht, I feel like, that you can expand on. Like, you could start in the fountain area where, like, no one has ever been able to get to. Or, like, in the showers, or in, like, one of, like, the insane asylum parts where, like, there's, like, the cadaver and stuff like that. Like, there are places I can start that would be really interesting. It's just, like, if they do it, they have to do it right for every single one.
Right. Yeah.
Because, I mean, you don't even really start in Noct. You start outside of Noct.
Right.
So.
Which is true, which gives it a whole different feel in itself.
Yeah.
So then do you feel like with Cold War Zombies and like the way that it is set up and the way that the gameplay feels, do you think it'll be the best game mechanically speaking in terms of like gameplay, in terms of like the UI and kind of like your setup, like your classes and all that stuff?
I think ultimately, yes. Right now, I think there's a lot of reliance on like the creative class, which I get. Like, you just level them up and then you start with a really busted gun. That kind of takes away from like the beginning round experience. But again, not every map is set up super well for the beginning round experience to like be enjoyable. Like, there are certain there are certain maps that like you just feel super restricted and like you feel like you can't succeed because like it starts off too fast almost. Like
Shadows.
It's
like this big.
It's super small, but like also like you start off like you have to kill a Margwa on the first like ritual, and you probably don't have a gun by then unless you like did all the Easter eggs. You get the RK5, or even like one I was thinking was like Rev, like starting out like you don't have to kill the little like crawling creatures when you do the
ritual thingies.
Yeah, I can't remember what
it
it's
is. Yeah.
You don't have to kill them. You can train them, but like if you're not skilled enough to train them and you have to shoot them, like, and you're only using your MR6, like you're screwed. Especially early rounds if there's zombies running around too. Like, I don't know. It's just there are certain ways I think it will be beneficial, and I think it's right now it's just something I'm not 100% used to still. But I think gameplay wise, like the creative class starting out will end up being the best thing that they could do for it. I think the HUD, you called it the UI, but either way, I think this one is really clean, really simple. I like the health bar on the screen. I think that's really nice. I like the way just like each perk looks, like the locations of them. Like, I don't know. It's more simplistic than it was in Black Ops 4, but I think it's a little bit more advanced than Black Ops 3 in a way, just because there is like more intricacies. Like you can pick up different like, what are they called? Tacticals? Yeah, tactical grenades. You can pick up different regular grenades. Like there are different things you can do, which in Black Ops 3 you really couldn't, just because you were limited to your frags, your Semtexes. If you got widows, your tactical. I don't even know if you had one.
Nope.
It
Did
was
not.
yeah. So, and then specialists like as your like Ring of Fire or your Aether Shroud, I think is really that's going to be used a lot better than it was in Black Ops 4 with like the sword or like the hammer and stuff like that, depending on like what storyline you're playing in. Yeah, I think the HUD is going to end up being the best, just because they learn from their mistakes and they're utilizing like resources differently than they were before. Like the main gripe I had about Black Ops 4, it just was like clunky. Like you'd have like your perk slots already like there, right, on the screen, and it's just, and then they would like light up if you had them.
Yeah,
it was like
it was bad.
It was just like a waste of space for the time being. So
it was bad all the way around. Yeah, I think that like the skills idea, like where you can get the Ethereum crystals and upgrade your perks.
Yeah,
and
I think that's cool.
I think that's really cool.
Just since there are limited perks, I think that's just like a quality of life update, you know? Like that's something that people have been asking for, is like perma perks, like updated perks, how they had in like Black Ops 2. I know I didn't really play Black Ops 2, but like the purple perks, I think was a thing. Like they had like perma jug or stuff like that, where it's just like an updated version of it. Same thing with like, I think like the not having the perk limit anymore, I think is a quality of life update too. Like it just makes it more enjoyable, because like the biggest problem with Black Ops 3 is crutch perks, and crutch perks are always like, depending on the map, like Jug is 100% going to be one, and Stamina Up, depending on the map, is going to be one, and hi Mabel. And it just depends. Like it depends on the map. Like if I had to think of, if I was playing this map with only 4 perk limit and like no like way to upgrade it, like gobble gums or like elixirs.
Elixirs.
I feel like I'd have to grab. There's what, 6 perks? I would never grab Deadshot. I feel like I'd always grab Jug, Quick. It just depends. Like if you could still upgrade with Ethereum crystals, like I'd still say Jug, Quick, Speed, and then your choice of Stamina Up or Elemental Pop. Because like Stamina Up, the map's pretty big. You got to run around a lot, so Stamina Up like is useful, but like Elemental Pop can save you in a pinch.
Yeah.
So it's like,
yeah, no, I agree. And
I think everything they've done is a good quality of life update.
And they're going to be adding new perks into the game in like DLC 1 and DLC 2.
The Tombstone teaser.
Rest in pieces.
Down for the count.
So they'll be adding new perks, and they'll actually be added in the Wonder Fizz.
On D Machine?
On D Machine, yep.
Oh, interesting.
So we'll be able to get Tombstone.
So it's not like on Shadows, like you're limited to the 6 that they have. Like
right.
Interesting. And there's like Electric Cherry and what else is not available?
I don't remember. It's been
Deadshot,
so long.
maybe?
Probably.
Yeah.
And I think like the ability, they're going to also be adding like new types of Ethereum crystals where like you can upgrade your things more. You know this if you ever watch my YouTube videos. And
I'm trying to pretend like I don't, so like I can't like steal a conversation from you.
So they'll be adding the
I don't just watch the first 45 seconds, like, and then comment something, okay? Gotta go.
So yeah, they'll be adding the new Ethereum crystals, like the legendary Ethereum crystals and stuff, and that way you can upgrade perks you've already upgraded. Like you can get Jug even better. So yeah, Jug will get even better.
More Jug,
double Jug. So yeah, all in all, I do think this game is the most mechanically sound. And I think it like runs the best, and like the quality of life improvements they did, they're such small things that just make the game so much better. Like getting rid of the perk limit.
It's just like nuisances, like things that like we understood why they were there and put in place to begin with, but at the same time, like, they didn't need to be there.
Right, exactly. So where do you think, from D Machina, where do you think the Dark Ether storyline goes? Like when they go to the Quezon map in Vietnam, where do you think like the storyline goes from that?
It's probably just gonna like okay, realistically or optimistically or both.
Both.
You want to hear the good news or the bad news first?
Give me the bad news first.
Bad news. Okay, so my like realistic opinion and my thoughts is just gonna be a very similar map to D Machine, which is like gonna be like I think, a disappointment. So we're just gonna find out more about the Omega Group. It'll be another like boss zombie that they made of some sort. That we're just gonna have to figure out like how to like. I don't want to say like release him because like with what was his name, Orlov. Like we were basically like freeing him in a way, even though like he's stuck like that. Like I don't know. I'm worried that they're just gonna kind of try and repeat what they did in D Machine because it was a good it was great success to start out. I think like the little amounts that we get, I'd say it'd be like more about the Omega Group. We might get more about like Sam, hopefully, fingers crossed. And then other than that, I'd say like that's probably like the minimalist, like the minimum amount that we'd get. Now, like if I'm being hopeful, like we're gonna play as an actual character this game. Like we're gonna play as like either Sam or like one of the doctors that like Weaver or Gray or like was it Maxwell or
Strauss
or
Carver.
That's the captain guy.
Uh-huh.
Not Black Bear. So I just think, like, if that happens, I think it'll help flesh out the story a lot more because it's not like we're just gonna be some like independent like NPC that's like a soldier going in there.
Right.
I don't know if they intentionally did that for Noct because like that's kind of like what the Noct characters were. You know what I mean? Like for D Machine, like the original characters in Noct were just soldiers.
Right.
That like were unnamed or like relatively unnamed and like unknown, and they just like happened to stumble upon Noct.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if that was like their intention was to like try and like replicate that by just having us be like a non-person in terms. I don't know what to say. Like how to describe that. Like I'm walking in there as Song.
We're an operator.
Yeah. But like why? Why are we not playing as a character?
Mm-hmm.
I get that like they're the characters. They're telling us the story, but like the fact that like the Dark Aether blah blah and like our character isn't saying anything like.
Yeah. It makes me not care.
It is, yeah, not necessarily not care. It just doesn't make me care as like the character I'm playing as.
Like if Park dies, I don't care.
Yeah, like it doesn't matter.
Like it's their way of integrating multiplayer into everything,
which is fine because like yeah, you want to show off the skins you buy or like you earn or whatever, and it's cool. But at the same time, like if you're doing something that's storyline based, like narrative based, I want to play as a character that's in that narrative.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I think that is like something that would like let me down, and like I hope doesn't continue. If it does, I just hope the storyline is like good enough to carry it without having to be one of the characters in the map. And I'm just worried that like they're gonna get stagnant.
Right.
But if they don't, and they prove me wrong, dope. Happy, because I think the way that it's trending, I think it'll end up a lot better than like I don't know, DLC 1 of like what's DLC 1 in like Black Ops 1.
DLC 1 and Black Ops 1 was...
Ascension. Great map.
Yes, I think.
Black Ops 2 is Die Rise. Awful.
Yep.
And then Black Ops 3 is DE, which is I'm not going to say it yet, but great map. And then DLC 1, Black Ops 4 is Dead of the Night.
Yes.
So it's like certain parts about those maps, I get they're like completely different because like there's no way to compare them like with what D Machine's done so far in Cold War.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a completely different animal now. Like the narrative isn't character based.
Right.
It's just like the map. So we'll see if like the map, the Kazon site can carry it.
Yeah. So what do you think then going forward with Cold War? Can they do better for zombies? What can they make do better?
I don't know. I don't want to say like better. It's just like things that would cater more to me, and like I feel like people that come from like the original Aether storyline and like got so attached to all those characters is like just like giving narrative and plot and like exposition to the person you're playing as. Like the fact that I'm an operator just doesn't like sit right with me, that like I'm just going in there to like do someone else's job. Like the people that are in the storyline should be the ones doing the job, if that makes sense. At least that's how Zombies always was. I don't know if that's like me being stuck in like the past of like how Zombies used to work, and like they're trying to change that, where like we're progressing the story for people outside of like the action, if that makes sense. But well, I don't know.
Yeah, I think they need to add characters. 100%. That's like something they have to do.
Yeah.
They need to add like a harder Easter egg.
Yeah, I mean, I think this first one, they definitely like, I don't want to say dumbed it down, but like they definitely like catered to like a more casual Easter egg experience.
Right.
Like, yeah, were like some of the steps like confusing. Yeah, but like once you figure it out once, you don't have to look up anything ever again, or like figures like you don't have to like think about it. It's just like second nature. Whereas like a DE or Zet or like Garad, there's lots of stuff that you're like, oh, shit, is that how that works? Like,
right.
What step do I need to do next? Whereas like this one's like very cut and dry.
Literally, the hardest part for me is always just remembering to put the frickin' password in the computer.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the hardest part.
Because it's something you don't have to go back to, and you're like, oh wait, I got to do that next. Hold on.
Right.
I mean, I remember the first time we did it. Mm-hmm. I was just like running around, and then you're like, did you put the password in? I'm like, no. So it's just like silly stuff like that.
Yeah, no, I feel like harder Easter egg, they need to... The replayability of D Machina, I think, is good because of all the different things they have in the game, like different perks,
camos, like
camos,
weapons,
yeah. But especially once you're done with camos, it's going to get real boring really quick.
Yeah.
Like, I've played D Machina so much at this point that I don't feel like after I get all the camos and once K-San comes out, I'll need to go back.
Yeah.
So, and that's just because they haven't done anything with it. And they need more content in between actual, like, DLCs. Like, there's absolutely nothing in Zombies right now. Absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
Jingle Hells was horrendous. They did a horrible job with Jingle Hells. They were like, hey, we got this new mode coming out, and all they did was put a frickin' Santa hat on the frickin' Megaton. Stupid. And gave the doggies red noses. That was fun. But, like, they took the Easter egg out. You couldn't do the Easter egg in Jingle Hells. Like, that's so stupid. And, yeah. And, like, and the fact that there's no cutscene at the end, I just feel like I'm not working towards anything. I just fly away in a helicopter.
Yeah, that's always been their problem, is like rewards for the Easter egg completion.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, I don't know. There are ones that make sense to end the game. Like, Rev makes sense for the game to end. Shadows makes sense for the game to end. Right? Shadows ends, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But like, I don't know, DE, Zet, and Garad, like, you just go back to the map with permaperks, which is nice. It's fun. But like, there needs to be more. There needs to be something else, like other than like an emblem or like a banner or a trophy.
Right.
Like, there has to be something. There's like, give us a camo or something.
Yeah.
Like a nuke, like not nuke town, Nocturne Totem camo or something.
That'd
like,
be cool.
It'd be super cool.
Yeah, like I just...
Or like even like what are they called? Like do they have those in this game? Like the little like things that dangle off your gun?
Yeah, the accessory. What are they called?
And
Charms.
Like, charm, like a fucking like a nuke town, or not nuke.
Why
do I keep saying nuke town? Or like a little Megaton, or Orlov, or anything relating to Noct, or anything relating to D Machine. Like that would be such a cool thing to just show off. Like, yeah, would it be not super rare because like a lot of people have done the Easter egg? Yeah, but it's something.
Yeah, it'll give me a reason to go play it again. I have no reason to play the Easter egg again. I don't care about the XP that I get from
or
it.
like
I could care less.
How many times you beat the Easter egg? Like if you beat it 5 times, you can get it in a blue color.
Right.
If you beat it 10 times, you get it in a gold color. Like stuff like that. Like there's ways they can integrate it. It's just, I think they just haven't thought to do it.
Right.
For whatever reason.
So, yeah, that would at least increase the replayability because there's not a whole lot for it right now once you get Dark Ether.
So before we move on, I want to ask what you think is going to happen in DLC 1. Because, like, you're someone who's fleshed out a lot more than I have. Like, you've played it a lot more. You've researched it more. What do you think? You can give me a realistic and an optimistic, or, like, if you just want to give, like, if you only have one opinion about it. Like, what do you think is going to happen with the Dark Ether storyline?
Realistically, I think we're going to go to the Quezon map. I think that Sam's going to be there.
At the facility?
I think Samantha will be there. She talked about that in one of the intels or something like that. Like, she needs to go to Vietnam and talk to someone. So I think she'll be there. Whether she'll be a playable
was that confirmed
character,
as Sam?
I believe so. I'd have to relook at the intel and stuff.
I thought like the video that was in was talking about Richtofen, no?
No, that's different.
Okay.
That's from the opening cutscene. Yeah, the intel was... So that's one thing that I think will happen. I think that I think the map's going to be bigger. I think the map's going to be way bigger.
Really?
Because why else would they bring Tombstone back? It kind of defeats it. Like, Tombstone really does not play a role in D Machina if it's the same thing, because it's not like you have to run very far to get all your stuff back. So
I guess that's true.
I feel like the map will be a lot bigger. I think it'll be interesting to see how they integrate what the Omega Group did, why the Omega Group
Action.
why the Omega Group is like taking over these facilities, and I feel like it'll become more of like a like we're maybe getting closer to the Omega Group, and like we're getting closer to like a fight with the Omega Group in some way, shape, or form. How they're gonna get there, I'm interested, because I think in one of the videos I talked about like a portal, like because we just fly away in a helicopter, and that's the end of D Machina. Literally, the game could end right there, and that could be it. So like if there's like a portal or something, but I think ultimately
Portal.
like one of like the anomalies.
Like an anomaly pops up in D Machine that takes you to Quezon. So like, how do we get to D Machine anyways? You just flying on a helicopter. Why could we not just fly in a helicopter to get to Quezon?
Because that'd be so lame. They're just flying.
You're saying you want that?
That's what I want. Yes.
Okay.
Well, so in the video I talked about, I want there to like, because they added attack animations and textures to the Elder God Easter egg.
Okay.
So I want them to like,
he just grabs you and chucks you into
exactly.
Vietnam.
Yeah, he just picks you up and throws you across the world. Yeah,
throws you across the continent. That's fine.
No, I want him to like knock the helicopter out of the air, and like while the place is exploding, like the anomaly pieces are shooting out everywhere, and like we get sucked up by the anomaly and sent to.
So that means we're playing a song again, or Park, or whatever.
Yes. No. But
damn it.
So yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of things I want to happen with the Dark Ether storyline. I do hope we see Victus again, because they are technically in the Dark Ether. They were sent to the Dark Ether at the end of Togdor Toten. And so was everything else from the old storyline. So it's possible that Nikolai is still there. It's possible that all the old characters are still there.
I mean, they're all dead. But...
Right, but who knows? Maybe they were reanimated in the Dark Ether
or something.
Yeah, well, and that's the other thing is like the Shadow Man and Dr. Monty are technically there. They're in the Dark Ether. They probably have manifested into something different at this point.
Yeah, they turned all the apothecons and stuff into jellyfish. That's why they're floating around above D Machine.
Correct. So with that being said, then the final question: do you think that we'll be seeing Richtofen again in the Dark Ether storyline?
I think it's one of those situations where I want them to, but if you bring him back in some semblance, you have to bring back everybody else. Like, it can't be one or done. Like, one or none. You know what I mean? Like Monty has to be there in some way. The Shadow Man should be there in some way, instead of just Richtofen, I feel like. But that might just be, like, me... Because if they do, it's just, like, I don't want to say that's, like, a cop-out, but, like, I get that Sam and Eddie are the only ones that walked out. So, like, I think that makes sense why he would be the other one other than Sam. So, I get... yes. Short answer, yes. Long answer, yes, but confusing. And the confusing part is, like, why is no one else there other than Sam and Eddie? But, like, I get they walked through the portal, they're walking through time, blah, 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 blah. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know.
Yeah, I'd say it's definitely possible. I say that it's almost guaranteed that we will see Eddie in some way, shape, or form, whether he's going to be the Richtofen we all know and love, or if he's going to be just some homeboy hanging out, being like, Sam. That was more of a... that was more of a Frodo Baggins sort of, but still. So, I do think we'll see him again. As for the other characters, I honestly don't. I don't think we'll see the other characters again.
Yeah.
And if we do, it'll just be like...
a callback or something?
Yeah, it'll be a callback, or it'll be
like a bottle of vodka that someone like makes like a comment about, or like a katana and like carries on or something like that.
Right, and it like how they're possibly still in the Dark Ether. Maybe like...
it could be like the souls of all the people in like Blood.
Right, yeah.
Like the birds and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I mean, it's something possible that maybe we just see like an apparition of them. We don't actually like hear them or anything, because they'd have to pay all the voice actors again and whatnot. True. So... but I do think that it'll happen. So, all right, I lied. Final question. Yes or no? All I want. I don't want you to explain. Yes or no? Tell me right now. Will there be a Zombies Chronicles 2?
No. I don't think so.
I think yes. I think Cold War will have a Zombies Chronicles 2. But that is a story for another day. Maybe if you guys watch my YouTube video that I posted this morning. Alright guys, that is going to do it for whatever the hell this podcast is called. The Land Spesh, the Spesh Joe. Yugi. Wait.
Stop.
Zombro.
Stop. That's our no.
I know it's already a thing.
We can't steal Reed's thing. Even though it's done now.
But yeah, if you guys like this kind of style of video, we can always try and do it over like a Zoom call or a Discord call or something really easily. Yeah, Discord. Yeah, Zoom's for boomers. Boomers use Zoomers. Boomers. Yeah, guys, that is going to do it. If you did enjoy, please subscribe. Leave a like on the video. Tell me below kind of what you think about these questions and kind of how you feel about them. Go subscribe to Joe. Follow Joe. Buy his merch. Buy his merch.
Shit.
Buy his merchandise. And yeah, that's going to do it, guys. I hope this video made your day...
Hope we made it your day better.
I hope this video made your day better. And I'll see you soon.